to get it. All right, well,
The
let's
overleaf.
start. Welcome to episode 3 of the Dreaming About
Twitch
podcast. We have a special guest today. His name is Jordan. He is the co-host of 100 Talk, a phenomenal podcast. For those that don't know, I definitely recommend checking it out. If you're a huge 100 Thieves fan like I am, if you love Aframu Sensei, or you just like a team that's going to win this year, which is, 100 Thieves, check their podcast out. They do a phenomenal job talking about it. Jordan, if you'd like to introduce yourself to the channel.
Yeah, so I'm Jordan. I'd say I'm pretty new to the whole podcasting thing as well. We've been doing it for less than a year. But yeah, super excited for the upcoming season. I feel like off season's been grinding on forever at this point.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, and so it's kind of funny. This is our first real season watching competitive league.
Right.
So we are not used to the annual calendar. So I didn't know what to expect with off season, but man, it feels like a long time.
Yeah, it's just nothing but a dry period right now. I can't wait for it to start, man. Cannot wait for it to start. I can't believe you actually got someone from the 100T podcast. Double H. I can't believe it either. I'm so glad to have him here. So glad to have him here.
We're glad to be here, man. Or I guess I say we. I'm speaking for Cole, I suppose. But if he were able to be here, he would be happy to be here too.
Yeah. Well, both of you are equally as important to the podcast, so it's an honor to have even just one of you guys here. So thank you.
Absolutely, man.
All right. Well, this is the third episode of the Dreaming About podcast. Just to, we kind of very quickly brought Jordan on, so just to give you a rundown on what we do. We're a little more of a variety podcast compared to most. We're not very specific. We talk more about Twitch streamers, what it takes to grow as a content creator. It's kind of our big focus.
Cool.
But since the channel does a lot of League of Legends content, we end up talking a lot about the state of the game as well. But today, since it's the day after the new year, we will be discussing on what it takes to grow as a content creator in this new generation known as 2019.
I don't know about you guys, but I've got really good 2019 vibes so far. I feel like everybody on Twitter has got a super positive outlook.
I agree.
Maybe that's contributing, but
It's absolutely insane. Yeah, editor Twitter. So like everybody that does like video editing and whatnot, absolutely insane. Spooks OP, he does. I think he's done editing for like TSM Ninja. He's done a lot of stuff. He said, if you want to become an editor this year, do it because editing is going to be insanely valuable this year, as you could say.
I agree.
For sure.
Lots of consecration happening this year. Since this is the third episode of the podcast, I find it funny that I'm also calling this the year of the podcast.
Mm-hmm.
In my opinion, I think podcasts this year, and this is kind of a random prediction, but I've just noticed that podcasts have been growing very quickly compared to any other year near the end of 2018, and I'm expecting that to get bigger in 2019. So it's good to be here.
You're not the only one doing that, by the way, and not to say that I think that's your idea too. But I've seen other people saying that like podcasters are in for a good year.
Yeah, that
and
I've heard
is a
it
good
from.
time.
I can't take credit for that. I got it from what's his name? He just did a podcast with Elon Musk about 2 to 3 months ago.
All right, Joe Rogan.
Joe Rogan, there you go. Funny guy.
Got Kanye up on his, or he's planning to get Kanye up.
Oh, that would be very, very interesting.
Very nice.
That's going
There's
to be very
a
exciting.
target audience member for your episode 4, Kanye.
That would be pretty amazing. So
he would probably drive some traffic for you.
Oh, that'd be so much traffic. It would be nuts. That's fucking crazy. So even though this is focusing on 2019, we all worked in 2018. We have only started working in 2019. So let's talk about what like each and every single one of us have learned from 2018, the benefits, the pitfalls we've fallen into, and the traps that new content creators such as myself, such as 100 Talk Pod, though you guys have way more experience than we do. And who would like to go first?
Let's see. If you don't mind, I'll take a shot in the dark real quick.
Yeah.
I have a not so much for YouTube, as YouTube this year was pretty. After January senior year, I kind of stopped doing YouTube, but I did a lot of content creation in the realm of freelance video editing and graphic design. So I helped some smaller YouTubers in between, generally like 6,000 to like 60,000 subs. Started doing that this summer, a lot of GFX for smaller Twitch streamers as well. What I learned as an editor and a graphic designer is don't sell yourself short on prices, because people are still really, I'd say it's still kind of new, if you will, like the whole video editor trend, like for moving away from original content creation into like secondary content creation, as to where you take somebody else's content and then make it new, if you will.
Right.
And the number one thing is don't sell yourself short on prices and time needed to do stuff, because some of the people put insane amount of efforts into like editing either montages and stream highlights or just creating insane works of graphic arts and whatnot.
Yep.
So don't sell yourself short. That was probably the largest pitfall that I had this year. Something else to learn is don't overwork yourself.
Topic,
of course.
If I can ask a question on that.
Yeah, man.
So you mentioned stream highlights, and I think that's one of the cooler areas that we see in YouTube right now. And as my background, like I'm not, we're primarily pod focused, right? And so I don't have editing background or anything like that. So you're much more technically minded and capable than I am. But I just think that's such a cool way for people to contribute and create on YouTube right now, because we have there's glut of people who are streaming and who have huge audiences.
Mm-hmm.
Those people do not have time to go through their stream and create kind of like a highlight reel.
Yeah.
But for people who are who have less time, but want to keep up, it's a great way for them to do that and feel connected with like an Afro Mill.
Yeah.
Right? And I know that he has some of the best stream highlights.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
I would love to know a little bit more from you on just like, how does that work? What goes into it? And I think it's a really neat way for people who are trying to get their feet wet in that field. Find a small streamer and talk to them about doing that kind of thing, because I think that's awesome.
Mm-hmm. I think the number one goal for smaller editors is to try and work their way up. So they start small, and you continuously, I guess, take jobs from more and more famous people on the radar until you peak. Until you either get partnered with an editing agency like Render, maybe not Render, but something like FOV, so you'll like get commissions for the videos you edit and whatnot, and it pays pretty decently from what I remember, and you get to work with so many fantastic people. I remember somebody like Jinx with 2 X's.
Right.
She got to work with TSM Fanatic. Somebody got to work with like TSM Fanatic, and that was all through an editing agency. So it opens up, if you can become part of something like that, it opens up so many more avenues. And bringing it back to something like just streamers and going cross-platform. I think the biggest thing about stream highlights is being able to create a cross-platform presence. So the largest thing so far I've seen is on YouTube.
Right.
See a little bit on Twitter. They'll post stream highlights occasionally, but I think the major thing is bringing it over to YouTube, where there's already a large audience of people who are watching League of Legends.
Yep.
And they're just able to consume. It's very easy. It's bite-sized, 10 minutes a piece, like every other day from your favorite streamers. Hell, I love that.
Yeah.
So I think
it's like a digest.
Yeah, it is. It is a digest from like either the best games or the past stream and whatnot. So it's a great way for streamers to interact with audiences on different. I'm not really sure if the streamers are always interacting with their YouTube audiences, but it's a great way to get audiences from different places and therefore growing your brand.
Yeah,
which is something
or piggybacking on that, if you don't mind, I think yeah, it's super essential for any new streamer, myself included, because I'm notoriously guilty for focusing on one platform versus focusing on multiple. But I think every new content creator, whether you're a podcaster, a streamer, could be an artist, a musician, you got to diversify the amount of platforms you're promoting your content on, just because, especially if you're on Twitch. Twitch is awesome in the growth that it's seeing thanks to Ninja, but it's still extremely hard for the new guy to get recognized just because of the lack of an algorithm on Twitch. Real quick, an algorithm, for those that don't know, it's basically just a bunch of fancy numbers to get the small channel in front of a bunch of new guys like faces, you know? And YouTube is great for that because it allows you to get an audience that you either haven't connected with or further reel in your audience that you've been building on Twitch, you know? I'd love to get you guys' opinion. I think on Twitch, it's harder to increase your growth by itself than any other platform.
I think, I'm going to give all credit to Cole on this one. He's like the multi-platform king, and he has a really good sense of where to put our stuff and how to appeal to different people in different places. But I think you're right. I think Twitch, it's an incredibly hard place to break in. And I think, you mentioned you guys talk a lot about League, and it's kind of a focus. I think League is actually a really hard game to stream.
It's a very hard game to stream.
Because you have to be on. Unless you're playing completely for fun and you don't care about, CS or how the game's going. And honestly, it's almost like unless you're trolling, to a certain degree, then it's hard to have the kind of like entertaining stream that people really come for. So unless you're somebody who is, like high diamond and is skilled enough to draw people through just watching you play an amazing game of League. It's not a super interactive game to watch on stream. I think that kind of gets back to what we were talking about with the stream highlights. I think that's another draw for them. You can watch a 2-hour stream of somebody who's amazing at League and who you like, and they don't say much. And they're, it's got to be pretty easy to distill it down to 10 minutes because that's kind of where the entertainment is. And that's probably overgeneralized a little bit. But when these people are playing, like if Afro's streaming and he's practicing, he's not going to be doing a ton of engagement with people because he's in the zone. Yeah,
he's in the zone. He's focusing.
Yeah, so I think for any of us too, like if you are a new streamer on Twitch and you're playing League, you have to have something. And I think your point on multi-platform is right. A good way to do that is to come up with what's your YouTube content look like, or what's your Twitter presence, and how are you engaging with people there? What kind of conversations are you having? Because it's just a different way to introduce yourself to people.
You look like you had something you really, really, really wanted to say, Scientific. What did you want to extend on that?
I really suppose depending on what it is. YouTube for smaller creators right now. I don't really want to talk about it, but
it's tough. I agree.
I think, right now I guess it depends on like what type of content you want to make. If you can hop on the bandwagon of like what's hot right now, it's super easy to grow. But if you want to try and like target something more niche, so like what I'm doing right now with sort of like a dead art, if you will, with the cinematic type League of Legends videos, it's going to be harder because not as many people are automatically searching for that. Not as many people will be. It's not a 10-minute video because it takes so darn long to make, and not as many people. The watch time's going to be lower, therefore, the YouTube algorithm's going to say, "Oh hell no." So. That's just the 2 cents that I want to give for YouTube content creation. It really depends like what you make, but I suppose Twitch. I could actually agree that Twitch is harder just to grow as a person because you have to be entertaining as much as possible all the time. Because on YouTube, I can just edit all this stuff where I don't talk or say something really stupid.
Right.
On Twitch, you don't really have that same luxury. If somebody's watching and you say, I don't know, something really racist, everybody in the chat's going to see it. They can clip it unless you like disable the VOD. That's out there.
Well, like the example I have fresh in my mind is, if we're on stream, we do Twitch streams sometimes of our games, and it's not by any means our primary content, right? But if we're in a really tough matchup, you could tell, and people leave, they leave the stream because it's not that fun to watch.
That's true.
Yeah.
Unless you can be the comedian and make like jokes out of the gameplay, you know what I mean?
Right.
Which is like my only saving grace right now.
And we try to do that when we can if we're just getting stomped, right? And actually, there's an added benefit there. It makes it more enjoyable. Like you don't hate getting stomped as much. Some of our best lines come from games where we're just getting crushed.
I agree. Sure. 100 Talk Pod. I'm assuming it's Cole in the chat. Cole, welcome to the chat. He mentioned a really good point. The other thing about Twitch is it's really difficult to search and view older content. So the good and bad thing about that is that's true right now. I went to TwitchCon 2018, and they did promise that eventually they were going to add a search feature to where you can search older content on the channel. And then you'll also be able to search old VODs and old clips if the title matches the keywords in your search bar, right? So that's going to help the new guy a lot. And I'm excited for that. But until then, yeah, he's got a really good point. It's brutal to grow as a new guy on Twitch unless you're collaborating with streamers around your viewer base or higher than you, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And talking about what you were saying, Scientific, where you're trying to bring back this dead art of quality content to League of Legends videos. Not saying that Afremo doesn't put in quality content, but like, if you look at the editing of Afremo's editor, and again, no hate, because I absolutely love the stuff that he does, and it's great for him because of his high talent that he does, right? But it doesn't take nearly as long as the old school cinematics that you used to see back in the day. I want to say 2016, 15 was the last
little
year.
Bit. It was even as late as last year.
Yep.
That kind of fizzled out more or less. I think it's more or less the attention away from. Lately, it feels like lately the focus of League of Legends content creation. I suppose this is kind of like going away from. What topic are we on?
Well, you know, 2018, 2019, and like the differences you got to make to grow. Yeah.
It's gone more towards high-profile people, not as much. You load up with 5 friends and you play League of Legends,
right?
And people will watch you because of those 5 friends and you playing. It's a lot more about already established personalities like Afremu.
Yep.
I'm a Cutie Pie, etc. There's also another large content base of people like. Getting better at League of Legends. There's a huge market for that right now, and corporations are just trying to sap that stuff up. Like, for example, Mobalytics, Skill Caps, a bunch of other places as well are trying to create guides, tier lists, etc.
Right.
So that market is becoming very oversaturated right now.
Yeah, and talking about oversaturation, since we've been discussing it for a bit, let's talk about the difference in what content creators have to do this year compared to last year in order to grow, and the last generation of successful content creators. By successful, I mean big shots like Pokimane, Afremo, Double Lift. I don't want to say Ninja. I consider Ninja one of the most successful new generation of streamers, basically in terms of the quality of his stream. So since Twitch streamers are so oversaturated right now, not saying it's not impossible for you to grow on Twitch. I'm just saying that what you need to do and actually to grow and to separate yourself from the typical streamer is you need to have more of a studio quality to your streams. You got to have the fancy animation when your subscriber alert pops up, a ninja appears, cuts it in half, and then, you know, like, it's got to be entertaining to watch. It has to look different compared to the typical guy. And I think a lot of people aren't aware of that. And it's interesting. Well, what's your take on that for the both of you, I guess?
Yeah, I think there's kind of there's a floor, right? And I think if you put no effort into your stream, it'll show. And, you know, I think you can be a really funny person, you can be super entertaining, and people are willing to cut you some more slack.
Right.
But I do think it helps. And again, this is something that Cole is really good at is, you know, if we're gonna try something,
right,
we don't just kind of waltz into it. Like, we'll do some research, right? We'll try it out. We'll put some prep work into it. You know, like, we'll make an overlay, that kind of stuff, even if it's not our main focus. And I think that helps to keep you from. Now, if it's your main thing, then I think you should definitely do that. You should definitely take the time to make sure that it looks good and it, you know, because it shows, right, how much you care about something. Like, if you don't have a video, right? If you're on Twitch streaming and there's no video, it might be a personal choice. But I know for a lot of people, it's kind of like, well, who am I watching? What am I doing?
Who am I
here?
watching? Yeah, and there's no emotional connection either without the face to the voice, you know?
Yeah, is this just a VOD? Like, what's happening here?
Yep. On top of that, though, I think that even high-skilled players. So I know 2 streamers. Yeah, I know one streamer, I guess I could say, that is a high diamond Aurelia one trick, and he provides extremely good quality in terms of like gameplay, super educational, teaches the chat a lot, and I love him to death. He's absolutely amazing. But I do think that there's a lot of those type of players appearing, even the super talented ones, the challengers and all of them. And I think since the market is kind of already set and there's already, like you said, Scientific, those internet personalities that are so dominant, you have to go above and beyond, not only either being entertaining or having a ton of talent, but you got to have that almost professional look to your stream. I think the old generation was successful because it wasn't so oversaturated. There weren't as many diamond or challenger streamers, using League for an example, right? But now that there is, you have to differentiate yourself if you're going to be the brand new guy just joining Twitch today, tomorrow, or in the past 3 months, 5 months.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. And Scientific, unless you wanted to jump on that, it kind of triggers something in my mind.
You can go, fam. I have a different point.
I think one of the most important things, if you're just starting, or even if you're trying to kind of build your audience, is to understand personally why people should watch your stream or your product or whatever it is, right? So if it's a video, if it's YouTube, if it's Twitch, and if that's not clear to you, I don't think you can assume that it will be clear to other people either.
Yeah.
Right. So if there are literally 1,000 people doing what you're doing, how will people find you and stick with you? So and that doesn't mean that you have to have like a gimmick, or you need to be, you need to do something wacky or whatever it is, or but like, what is it that you want to see out there that you're not seeing right now? What do you feel like every streamer should do that it doesn't seem like anyone is, and you don't understand why? And I feel like that's a really kind of genuine way to find something that will bring people to you, because there will be other people out there who are thinking the same thing.
Right.
And once they find you and they say, that finally I found somebody who's doing this thing, not only will you have an audience, but you'll be the first to it, right?
I agree.
So if there's an idea in your head, look and see if someone's doing it, and either can you do it better, or can you be the first to do it?
Right.
And I think that's a great way, if you're just starting out, to really spend some time thinking about that.
You wanted to...
Yeah. Let's see. That's also another thing that I wanted to bring to the conversation is, what are people doing? That's actually one thing that actually brought me to Diego's channel. Was I guess you could say his vision was a little bit more than beyond, hey, I want to stream League of Legends, let's have fun with it. His vision is to, well, wait, is it okay if I say that?
Yeah,
wait,
yeah, go
you
ahead.
already said it, so
Yeah.
okay, yeah, promote something more like Yes Theory, give a broader message to the general public. It's more than just gaming. It's a lifestyle. It's content house, etc. It's diversifying everything, and I don't really see that too often with Twitch streamers.
Yep.
Just the ambition to go even further beyond.
Further beyond All Might.
As a Twitch streamer. And another thing that I wanted to get on the topic was branding. I think branding is huge in this day and age.
It is
and
necessary.
That is, 100% necessary if you want to grow. Because I think when I think of big brands, like the best brands, I think like Pokey. Pokey. She has the merch. Like, it's people are wearing your stream and they're looking good while doing it. So I think the biggest thing is developing your brand to the point where people like it, and that's where one of the things as a helper and whatnot with Diego's channel, I want to make sure that merch, anything that revolves around the Unreal Dreamer brand, looks as best as possible and gets developed as cleanly as possible.
Yep.
So that he has the best chance of growing on Twitch.
Yeah, and talking about the branding, I think the biggest way you can brand the best, Hunter Talkpod, you recently rebranded your channel. And by the way, it looks absolutely gorgeous. I can't I can't stress that enough. The before was good, but the after is absolutely beautiful.
Nice.
Two big things that I've noticed in terms of the branding we have right now versus some of the new branding that me and Scientific have been talking about doing in the future, and what other content creators like Ninja, like Pokemon have done, is not only does it need to look good by itself without the person behind the name, but there also has to be this community and this sense of like a message you're trying to deliver that everyone can relate to. Like with Pokemon, it's just having a good time in League of Legends with other content creators in the same house, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just think it's super necessary to do branding and to have that community focus. Branding equals Ninja's underwear. Yeah, I mean...
No, do you remember the line of Ninja underwear that was released like a month ago? I was like, that is branding at its prime.
Yeah, Ninja does a phenomenal job with the branding. Not only does it look good, but his merch actually looks pretty crisp.
I was joking about the underwear, though. I think that was a little questionable as far as.
Hey man, I believe it. It's Ninja. Like, you gotta brand everything these days, right?
I think you're big enough to where the point is like, okay, we make Ninja branded vodka. Okay, if it doesn't work out, whatever. I can put my endeavors elsewhere.
It'd be interesting for sure. It'd be interesting for sure. Shroud has Shroud branded coffee, which actually tastes good, by the way. It's some of the best coffee I've had.
I did not know that.
Yeah, Madrina's coffee. Madrina's, I doubt you're watching this, but if you ever need a brand new streamer that is willing to work his butt off to be sponsored by you guys for free, just let me know, because your coffee is absolutely phenomenal.
I think another area of branding that people often overlook is even just the kind of the way you deliver your content, right? And so how do you talk to the people that you're on your show with? How do you, what kind of language do you use? Do you have a positive outlook, or are you finding, and again, I'm not saying that there's a right or wrong way to do this.
Yep.
But I think that it's important to think about that in the same way that you think about the imaging, how things look, if you're going to do merch, what the merch looks like, because that will help you to be a little bit more consistent in your product as well. And I think for each person, again, it's kind of like, do you want to be more formal? You want to be more informal? Is it a mature stream? Is it not?
Is it Tyler one?
Yeah, exactly. and all of these people find audiences. There's somebody who is looking for that thing, no matter what that thing is that you land on.
Right.
But I think it's when you don't have that identity in your brand and kind of the way you create stuff. That's where you can kind of, right, you're going to turn somebody off. Yep. Whereas if you're Tyler one, people watch you because they know they like you. And the people who don't watch you know that they don't like you, and that's fine. And he's not trying to get them, probably. Yep. Although he's done a bit of a rebrand, I'd say.
He's done a bit of a rebrand, which
really
is pretty interesting. And the weird thing is he hasn't lost that many of his viewers. That's the fascinating part. Because he used to be this super toxic... He still has the alpha persona, but he was definitely more toxic than what he is right now. And it's been working out for him. It's been working out for him.
And I mean, I don't have all the details, but just look at the types of paid gigs he's getting. I mean, the role he played in All Stars. Yep. Hard to say that was a bad move on his part, right? Like, it was amazing that he kind of rebranded himself in that way. So I'd say don't lose sight of kind of the role that you as an individual play in creating that brand too.
So in terms of communicating and delivering with your community, right, and delivering content to the community, what have you found as a new content creator that has worked, has not worked, or things you're looking forward to trying?
Is this for both of us?
Yeah, for both of you guys.
Oh boy, can you write that down real quick? That was a little.
That was a mouthful. So so in terms of like delivering content to your community, right, and interacting with your community, what have you found, whether it's through platforms, whether it's through social media, certain types of content that you release on YouTube, on Twitch, what have you found that has worked, you think might work, or what has failed for you guys? Me personally, I've noticed that my streams and the videos tend to do a lot better when I include the community inside of it. I think that just has to do with the branding that I've been going for, which is #DreamTeam, right? Like, it's not just me, it's the community that is growing, Like, if I ever hit 1,000 followers, that's not just thanks to me, that's thanks to everyone a part of the community. Unique Scientific doing so much editing, Double H doing a lot of the editing as well. Yeah.
Let's see.
Can I react to what you just said? A little
Yeah.
bit?
Yeah, by all means.
So, I think one of the things that seems unique about what you're doing is this idea of community and a collective of dreamers, right? And the name you've got, and people who have this ambition and this vision. And I think there is a need for a space that's positive, that's encouraging, that is there to kind of lift each other up, and without this getting too like cheesy. But it's something that a lot of people see and they like and they want to do. And I think there are fewer people out there who know how to do it well. And I'm not even counting myself in this mix, by the way, because I don't have anything close to the level of success that most of the people we see out there have. But I really like the idea of, can we create, and I'm using the we now speaking on your behalf. But can we create something that is there to help those who are in the audience further their own ambitions? And I think that's super cool.
Thank you.
And I think, one of the ways that you are positioned to kind of engage with your audience, to get back to your question, is, how can you help somebody who doesn't even have OBS downloaded yet?
Yeah.
Like what are some of the resources that you can put in people's hands to help them kind of chase their dream, whatever that might be? And maybe it's that they're editing stuff and they don't even know how to find their way around the program, right? Because I think a lot of people, what they want to do is they want to spam Ninja's chat with their stream and think that that's how you make it, right? Yeah. And they either get muted, timed out, or and nobody likes that either. So it's kind of like, what are the resources out there? Who's available to help me if I'm new? How can I find my way around? And even like, how can we as content creators make connections that help us to further our own goals, kind of separately, but like a symbiotic thing, right?
Yeah, as a community.
Yeah. So I think that is what comes to mind when you ask that question, kind of with what you guys are working on.
What do you think has worked for 100 Talk Pods specifically? Like, what's helped you guys grow as much as you have? In my opinion, I think it's impressive.
Oh, and yeah, I mean, we're super happy about it, and we don't have ninja numbers, but no one does. So let's not use that as our measure of success here, or else we'll all be very disappointed in what we've done. I think a long time ago, I was watching Criparian stream this YouTube or something. And he was he's doing a Q&A or something, and he talked about the importance of consistency. Find your schedule, your content schedule, and stick to it. And that always kind of stuck with me. I played around with a couple of different ideas, and I had trouble keeping a schedule. And I think what I came to realize is it's because I wasn't really that interested in doing it myself.
Right.
And I think if you're not interested enough in what you're doing to do it on a routine basis, that's a good sign that that's probably not the right thing. Because if it feels like a slog to you, it's gonna feel like a slog to anybody who's watching it too. So consistency was one. And then I think that the thing that really got me and Cole started was we realized, kind of what I was saying earlier, there's a big gap in content out there, so far as we saw it. And so we did some searching, we looked around, and we were like, there's nobody talking about 100 Thieves, new organization. We weren't that surprised by that. And there's nobody doing it when we want them to be doing it. There's nobody doing it on Sunday night.
Yeah, the only people that are doing it besides you guys are the dive every time 100 Thieves makes a mistake as an organization. Just just saying,
Right. Oh yeah, and there was plenty that I heard plenty of that, and I was like, that's not exactly what I'm looking for here. I kind of want the breakdown of what happened last week, and I want to listen to it on Monday when the games are fresh in my head. So we looked around and we were like, there's nobody doing that. So for us, it started as, let's just make the content that we want to see, and let's do it when we want to hear it. And I think that other people found that content and said, kind of like I said, this is what I've been wanting to hear.
It's something unique, and it's targeting a niche that doesn't exist yet.
Yeah. So I think, and it didn't work right away. Make no mistake, we started.
It takes a lot of time for a lot of brands.
You got to grind it.
Everyone.
But you know what? Actually, so I think that the grind thing is an interesting idea to me. I think you grind until something happens. So Ninja streamed for years and years and doing Halo, and I used to pop into a stream every now and again because I watched Halo. I was like, this guy's good for sure. But you know, he had the schedule, he had the consistency, he had some viewership, and so when Fortnite dropped and it got huge, he was in the right place at the right time. And I think for us, when Meteos got traded, we were on it. And we followed the same schedule, and we did the same thing that we usually do. So we didn't do anything different. It wasn't like, or maybe we did a kind of like an emergency pod. But it was easy for us to take advantage of that opportunity.
Right.
And I think that's, for us, that's what's really helped to build the audience, is when people go out and they say, they did what with Meteos? And they go looking for it. And then they find our video. They're like, oh, okay, I can watch this, and I can get the information I want.
Right. 100 Talk recently, or Cole, co-host of 100 Talk, said that something that you guys have done successful besides what you just mentioned was giveaways, which I'm not sure. Oh, I think Scientific disconnected. Possibly.
You did.
Maybe.
I've become a huge
you become this huge, beautiful... Beautiful. We're making sure we're giving you the right attention. It's our way of thanking you for coming on to the podcast. Thank you, my man. Thank you. But yeah, Cole just said that something that's been really successful with you guys is giveaways, and I promise I will fix your face pretty soon.
No sweat. No sweat.
If you invest in giving your community something cool, the listeners will reward your goodwill. I completely agree with that statement. 100%. I'm guilty of not doing as many giveaways as I would like. I'm thankful that I've been able to do the amount that I have been, but I could definitely be doing more. And I do think that if you can give back to the community that's been giving to you, they feel like they're a part of something bigger. And that's just going back to the whole community thing, you know?
Yeah.
Wow.
Well, then think about it. I mean, you know, so when we do giveaways, we have a pretty clear thing to give away.
Yep.
Right? Like, everybody wants the 100 Thieves apparel. So if we can get our hands on some and then give that to people, that's awesome. Looks like Scientist back.
Is he back? Is he back?
He's back.
Oh, he's back. Beautiful.
But I think what I'd say to people who don't have... Oh, sorry.
Slight computer malfunction, but hey, we're back.
Hey. That's
That's what matters.
What I was going to say... Oh, we switched panels. This is good. I was going to say on the giveaways thing is, you know, don't feel like you have to give away apparel. There's all kinds of stuff you can give away, right?
Yep.
So maybe it's that maybe you'll edit somebody's stream, do a stream edit or something like that, right? If that's the brand you're trying to build for yourself.
And there we go. All right. But yeah, no, I agree. Yeah, so we were just talking about... Well, welcome back, Scientific. It's good to have you back, brother. We were just talking about how giveaways helped 100 Talk Pod grow as a community. And, you know, here in the Dream Team and Unreal Dreamers, we've been doing a few giveaways, and then we're currently in the process of doing one. For those that are interested, feel free to join the Discord. It is exclusive to people in the Discord as a way to give back to the constant interaction outside of the stream. Shameless plug, shameless plug. But yeah, besides the giveaways, like 100 Talk Pod said, I think it's also important that you're being as inclusive as possible off stream and off content. So when you're not releasing the YouTube video, when you're not posting on Instagram, on social media, how else are you doing to interact with the community, you know? Or
For sure.
Or coming up with ways to show your appreciation without content. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think that's huge right now. People, I guess it's huge anytime, but more than ever, when there's more fans than ever, they all want to feel to be a part of something. We already talked about that before a little bit.
Yep.
But there's that sense of community, and people want to feel loved online. I don't think that's an over-exaggeration by any means. Everybody wants to feel like they have a place online that they can call home, if you will, like a virtual home. And if a streamer can do that, or a streamer or content creator can do that for somebody, where they're either their content or themselves or their community creates a second home for themselves online, I think that makes that content creator a lot more appealing.
Yep.
Say somebody who might ignore those aspects of the community, if you will.
Yeah, and talking about what you said before, you mentioned how Ninja, for example, streamed and grind and worked extremely hard. I mean, to this day, he still does it. He streams 8 hours a day. I think 5 to 7 times a week, if I'm not mistaken. In my humble opinion, and I could be wrong, I think that only grinding no longer works. I think even if you have the schedule, Monday through Friday, 6 hours a day, I think if you only do that and you're not diversifying, like we said before, and you're not increasing the production quality, but you're also not networking. I think networking is so huge, especially in Twitch space, but as a content creator, it's super important. But what, 8 hours per day, 5 times a week? Yeah. For those that don't know, Ninja is arguably the biggest streamer right now, and he streams 8 hours a day, 5 times a week minimum when he's not on business trips, which is pretty insane. Pretty insane. He works extremely hard. But again, going back to the whole networking thing, I think networking is one of the most important things you can do to grow, but you have to be genuine about it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like, recently we've hit this point in terms of content creation and the viewer base where since you're streaming, it's very easy to figure out whether someone's being fake or not. Whether they mean something from the bottom of their heart or not. Because you can bring it back up on a later topic and see the reaction, and if it doesn't match, well, you just lost some credibility, right? Connecting that to the whole networking thing, though, like, no one wants to network with the jerk, even if he has 5,000 viewers and 10 million followers, because it's going to affect his community, you know? What I'm interested in is, what do you think is some of the best networking strategies that 100 Talk Pod has been able to use? You know, for example, you guys recently had an interview, I want to say 2 months ago, with the director of production and one of my favorite guys, Gabriel Ruiz.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think was some advice you have for networking?
Yeah, so if what you're aiming for is, you know, and again, we're kind of in a unique spot here. So unless you're somebody whose product is tied to an organization who has people like Gabe and who, you know, players and that kind of thing, you know, I think that one of the things that's most important is to be entirely undemanding. So, you know, we didn't really reach out to 100 Thieves. We didn't try to make connections in that way.
Right.
You know, we didn't realize that they had any idea who we were until I think one day in the Discord we saw, it was Jackson. He said, you know, there are actually a couple guys out there who are doing these podcasts. You know, I think at the time he's like, they're pretty good, or like they're okay.
They're all right.
So, yeah, we've done like 3 of them. So, so I think that and this goes a little bit back to like, how do you get on the radar of the people who you want to be on the radar of?
Yep.
I think the best way to do it is to not try, in some cases, to focus instead of trying to create that connection on creating content that will garner the attention on its own. And if you have something that's really cool, I mean, I don't know how Jackson or someone in their office first found us, but
right.
Maybe they were doing something that we were doing, which was kind of going on YouTube and searching 100 Thieves.
100 Thieves podcast. Who's talking about us, you know?
Yeah,
I'm assuming it's their social media, like, community managers that probably found you guys. That's my theory. Yeah. Obviously, I can't say that's what happened, but I'm assuming.
Right. Could be. And you know, obviously they would be looking for a different reason because they want to kind of know what the community is saying about them, versus somebody who just wants to know what others are saying or thinking.
Yep.
That's in line with what they are. So yeah, I think when it comes to networking, think about who the right people are that you even want to be connected to.
Yep.
And then, you know, I would say, and I can't say this would never work, but I would say the way to make a connection with somebody is not to DM them, because the people who you want to be connected to probably get 1,000 DMs a day.
Yeah. That's a fact.
Yeah.
Or more, depending on who it is.
Yeah.
And they just can't. They just can't connect that way.
Yeah, so I think something that you guys have done really, really well is put out content that is related to every single piece of content you release. And you guys have done a lot of it. So I guess the way to concise that is put out as much content as possible and focus. I think one of the biggest traps people fall into is they try to focus on the quality of their content. And what ends up happening is they say it's not good enough. And then they never release it. In reality, I've fallen for that trap before several times. I'm guilty of that. 1000%. And I think more
that
people,
consistency thing, man.
Yeah, you got to be consistent. And if it's not good, like, just put it out there because you'll learn why it's not good and you'll improve on the next time. You know.
Well, and really quick on that point.
Yeah.
Networking way up is one thing. Networking around you is a completely different thing. And this is a good example of networking, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all creating things, and you've popped in places and chatted with us, and we don't get 1,000 DMs a day, so we can chat with people, and if you pop into our stream, you'll be one of 10 other people, not on a pod, but if it's just us on a Tuesday night playing some League and we got a stream up, if you want to talk to somebody, that's a great way to do it, right? Especially if it's somebody who is still grinding and working and building.
Yep.
And those people are going to be very interested to talk and see what's out there and what the options are, and they want to make those connections just as much as you do. So I think your point on kind of community and networking shouldn't be lost in that sense. Like,
right.
The only way to meet people and talk to people and get to know people is not by catching the attention of whoever represents the absolute top of what you're doing. Right.
So, yeah, I was actually going to direct to you. I wanted to ask you real quick. I don't know if it's your thing that you're about to say, but you've done recently, we've talked, a good job at connecting with other content creators that you know personally and that are kind of getting back into content creation. I could be wrong.
I've been trying to talk with some old people. Some are, actually, if there's a few people that started streaming again, there's a few people that started YouTube again. Will Scratch in the chat right now. He's returning, instead of making League this time, he's making Smash Ultimate content, which is
welcome
very
to the chat,
crisp.
Scratch.
Very crisp. So, one thing, we're still on the thing about platforms that have worked and whatnot, correct?
Yep.
Okay, platforms that I have grown to love recently, holy moly, I love Twitter. This is something that it's been on and off.
It's been my favorite to network with people, I agree.
Yeah. I have gained probably most of my subscribers from retweets from a few people. It's just a really great place to convey thoughts, especially if you have like an active, like I have like 4 to 7 people that will like constantly either give feedback on tweets or like it and whatnot. So just that constant viewer base of having people that you know that will be across multiple platforms is huge.
Right.
And another platform that I've kind of abandoned as of late is Amino. I know some of the people in the chat will know what that is, but basically
I'm guilty of doing that too.
Yeah, it's honestly, I looked at it recently. It's just dead. So the Double H unique. Sorry, that's my opinion. But moving on from that, the collaboration is something that I caught you guys talking about when I came back from rebooting my PC.
Yeah.
It was like how you end up collaborating with people. My strategy for the longest time was catch them while they're small. This worked back in the day. I ended up collabing with this one guy. His name was Olroy. I saw he was doing similar content to what I wanted to be doing.
Right.
And it was a niche. It was a niche that was blowing up at the time. So about 600 subs at about 200. And he ended up blowing up. He got about 10K subs. So he was playing with like Magikarp Use Fly. Basically all those large YouTubers at the time.
Right.
And I think that's something that you can run with, is like find people that you think are going to blow up. But I mean, obviously you want to keep the connection real. And I still talk to Olroy to this day. And we're both good friends. He gives me video editing advice. We play on League every now and then. So one of those is try and find somebody when they're small. And if you know they're going to like either go somewhere because they're making amazing content or else. Yep. And another one actually is through random encounters. I've had a lot of really random encounters where I'm just like, hey, this is strange, and then we'll end up talking. Another example is actually Wolf Scratch. Yeah, I was gonna say that story. Yeah, yeah. I saw his video on Reddit, and I think I gave him some feedback about cinematics. I think it was the Nar montage, and yeah, we found each other on the League of Legends subreddit, and yeah, we talk to this day, and he's a super cool dude.
Yeah, and that goes back to, so talking about that, you reviewing Wolf Scratch's content, and then you ended up connecting after you reviewed it and gave advice on it, right? Like, that's something you can do on Twitch. It's something that's helped me out a lot with the people and the streamers that I've met. But you gotta genuinely be interested in them, like you said, you know?
Yeah.
And especially when it comes to Twitch, I think a lot of new streamers, mistakes that they make is they'll pop into someone's chat, and this is kind of like a forbidden taboo by the Twitch community. They'll become friends, and they'll only pop in once or twice, and then like they'll try to plug their channel, or they'll try to like DM and like pretend they're friends when in reality they don't even know like the content creator. They're just like, there's this ulterior motive. You know what I mean?
Yeah. There was that.
Go ahead.
I was just saying there was somebody that did that a while back on your channel. I was like, get the hell out of here.
Oh, I think for the vlog, I think you're talking about.
Not per se. I dare say Venomous Vixen. I don't even remember that.
Yeah.
Joke, but...
You know, that was a funny
she did help
encounter.
out with the quick commands. I will give her that.
Yeah,
but...
I was gonna say that. So it was a funny encounter. She definitely did want to network, mainly so, you know, like I do. Like at the end of the day, everyone wants to grow their community, right? But
yeah,
at the very least, she did something that she still made the mistake of trying to plug her own channel, right? But she still did something that a lot of content creators aren't doing, which is people try to like ask. Hey, can you do this for me? Hey, can you do that for me? Hey, like recently, I'm very grateful for you coming onto the podcast, you know, because that's an ask, right? But they'll ask for something from someone, but they won't give something in value back, you know? The one thing I give credit to Venomous Vixen, who came into the Discord and tried to plug her own channel, is she helped out with the commands. Every command in the Twitch chat, the credit goes to Venomous Vixen. She's the one that gave me recommendations and taught me how to do it. So I think if you're going to network with someone and you're gonna try to DM them, or you're gonna have like a one-talk encounter, I don't recommend it. But if you are going to go that way, you have to be able to provide value, from my experience, to that person that they consider valuable. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and it sounds like for some of the stuff, the easiest way to get at it is just to have kind of like rules.
Yeah.
No self-promotion, or, you know, whatever it is. And that's not uncommon for most places that people hang out.
Yep.
You know, 100 Thieves have it in their Discord. It just puts people in a weird spot where, again, it kind of gets back to that, where it's like, that's not how things grow.
Yep.
By just saying, yo, check out my channel, check out this video I just did, it's amazing. You know, if it's good enough, other people will post it for you. And then it'll just take care of itself. Another thing I'll say about Twitter is, this is something I've noticed. You get these people who have tons of followers.
I was gonna say that. Go ahead.
Some of the shoutcasters fall into this category.
Yep.
Where they have thousands, tens of thousands of followers, and they'll put something up, they'll post something, and they'll get 3 replies.
Yeah.
And it's like, for me, and it's just crazy to me, because you know that in that situation, if you reply, they're gonna read it.
Yep.
Because their inbox is not blown up, the notifications aren't blown up.
Yep.
And what that means is not that you should reply and say, "Oh, check out my channel."
Yeah.
You should reply and just make your comment.
Give your 2
have
cents.
The conversation. Exactly. Yep. Put your 2 cents in. The worst thing that happens is they read it and don't do anything with it.
Yep.
Best thing that happens is they start a conversation with you, and then you're having and then, like you were saying, and you have a natural and organic connection point to somebody who you didn't before.
Yeah,
So
Cole
Twitter's
mentioned
great
it in
for
the
that.
chat. Twitter is super good to just banner and have fun with people. Everyone is attracted to that. I think that's why it's so important for every streamer to have Twitter. I think it's almost necessary. Like, if you have to choose one social media platform to have, I would choose Twitter. I could be wrong. I'm not a professional. I am still super, super brand new. I'm still growing. But like Cole said in the chat, they just want to have fun and talk to anyone that has 2 cents worth talking about. You know what I mean? So I think that's some of the best places you can collaborate with people.
It's kind of the best way to be interesting is to be interesting.
Yeah.
And just let
actually put yourself out there too. A lot of people get hung up on again, not putting out content and not putting themselves out there when that's one of the most important things you can do as a new content creator.
Yeah. Here's another benefit. This just came to mind. Another benefit of not. I had a doctor once who said, "Better is the enemy of good," and he was saying, "Yeah, you can always be healthier or whatever. You know, your whatever levels can always be better, but it's good, so don't worry about it." And I think that's true for content too. If you are somebody who creates stuff and you try to get the perfect video, I think so much of what people are looking for is recency. And if it happened yesterday and you spend the next month working on it, everybody will have moved on by the time your content hits YouTube or Twitch or wherever.
Yeah.
So I think another benefit to being consistent and regularly dropping content is that you can be on something when it happens.
Yeah, and you don't miss the opportunity for it to trend.
Yeah, exactly. That's the only way people are going to find your stuff. Part of the algorithm, part of the discovery stuff. You just have to be.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, and King Live brought up a good point. Facebook is the largest social media platform in existence, but it doesn't feel best for gaming. I think that's super important that no matter what platform you're marketing through, it has to do with your industry or like the content that you're creating. Like if I try to promote a gaming podcast or just the gaming channel on Facebook, I'm pretty sure, I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get a single reply on doing that. You know what I mean? Well, it's 2019. I call it the year of the podcast. We talked a lot about what it takes to improve and grow in 2019 and what worked and what didn't work in 2018. What do you guys think is the next big thing for gaming, for League, and for Twitch and YouTube in general? Content. Go ahead.
I have a big one. This is just something that I'm sorry, I'm just hella hyped. I love offline TV. I love Just Friends. I think it's honestly some of the my favorite stuff ever since like gaming houses have been a thing.
Yep.
It's like, why not content creation houses? This thing is absolutely great.
Yeah,
I love this.
I'm planning on doing something like that, and I'm pretty excited to share it. I can't wait. End of January is when we're going to start that. But yeah, I agree. It's huge right now.
Yeah, it's not something. So I don't know of how many other content houses exist right now. I'm only aware of Just Friends and Offline TV, but I feel like it's just such an unearthed concept right now. So let's go with, I don't know, it's just a bunch of internet personalities being personalities, and they're all interacting with each other, and it creates such a dynamic environment, and it's fun as hell to watch.
Yeah.
Like offline TV videos, they're probably my favorite things to watch.
Entertaining on Twitch, in my opinion, too.
Yeah, it's like, I don't know. It's because you have so many different talented content creators coming from so many different views. So, for example, you have Fedmeister. He's an editor turned IRL streamer. You have Pokimane, who is a former League streamer, now Fortnite streamer. You have Lily, who does art. You have Steady Musical, who does magic tricks, art, music as well. It's absolutely insane. Like, all these people bring different quirks to the table when it comes to these content creation houses, and it just, I don't know. I'm not sure how it is for the content creators. It looks like they're enjoying it a lot. So I just really want to see this niche grow.
It sounds like 100 Thieves is making an entry into that.
Yeah, I was just about to say. They've been
the
doing
leaks are to be believed, which I don't think they're going to leak at this point. They pretty much just said it.
Yeah, I can't tell if Nate... I'm pretty sure Nate Shot leaked it. So for those that don't know, Nate Shot is CEO of 100 Thieves. Awesome dude. Go follow 100 Thieves. They're amazing. Sorry, I'm a huge Die Hard fan. They recently signed They recently signed Valkyrie, and she's an absolutely phenomenal streamer. And they signed her on as a content creator. Before her, they have Nick Merckx, and then Alframu, who is both a pro player and a content creator. Recently on Nate Shot's Instagram story, he leaked a new house where he mentioned it was his office, and then it was later shown that it was connected to where Valkyrie was streaming. So I'm assuming esport organizations, 100 Thieves specifically, are starting to look into what you mentioned, which is that content creation house.
So
you might be
actually
on
200 IQ.
Yeah, 200
I-
IQ. You might have predicted that. You might have predicted that.
Honestly, even though I'm a huge C9 fan, I honestly respect the hell out of 100 Thieves as to what they're doing. They're bringing the lifestyle brand. They're bringing in the hypebeast trends, I guess you will, like the limited edition merch. Absolutely insanely popular. There's a huge demand for it.
It's so good.
Yeah. Also, their merch genuinely looks good, and that's something that I
Fire.
feel like a lot of other esports organizations suffer in right now. As a Cloud9 fan, I'm not getting super good merch. I'm kind of disappointed. I'm like, Jack, where's your merch team? Step up your game, fam. But as well with the content creation houses, I think these guys are 200 IQ. They will be the model for what the esports organization should be in the future, I think. For sure.
I agree.
I agree.
I agree.
All right, enough about gloating about 100 Thieves. What are we going to be?
I wasn't going to do it, but I'll let you do it. That's great.
Man, yeah. Let the person that's a little third party.
That knows a little bit about 100 Thieves.
Yeah. So, also another big thing that I think, team dynamics in a small family. What would be the purpose for?
Oh, that's a good question. So Wolf Scratch asks, do you think it works though? Professional player houses are created to help with team dynamics like a small family. What would be the purpose for content creator house? I think like my opinion on this is what Scientific was saying. It creates this natural dynamic that a lot of streamers right now on Twitch, they try to have this persona or this like this fake person on them that even when they're being genuine, there's viewers out there that are like, what if he's pretending? What if he's actually not this positive? What if he's not this toxic? You know, what if it's just a show? And I think the beauty of a content creation house is you're seeing how they interact with other people, so it seems more genuine, you know? So it kind of tells the viewer a little bit more of yourself with how you interact with other people, because how you treat other people is how you're going to treat the viewers. That's what a lot of people assume, you know? It's like the whole kindergarten saying, treat me how, or treat another person how you want to be treated, you know?
Yep. I also think another, I'm not really sure if this is 100% proven yet, but I feel like it's also a really great way of cross-promoting other creators. If you have like 8 people in a house and they're all fairly big and interacting with each other on a consistent basis, their fan bases will more than likely overlap as they like become attuned to more than one content creator. Like, you might have your favorite, but you'll say, oh, I really like this person as well. I'm probably going to watch more of their content. Yep. So I feel like that just naturally promotes other people's content just by interacting on a daily basis through the offline TV videos and whatnot.
Yep.
That's a good point. Brings your highest viewership person kind of to the audiences of the others.
Yep.
Yeah, and you have constant collaboration. Like, you could be sleeping in one bedroom, and then you wake up, and your fellow content creator knocks on your door. Dude, I just got this awesome idea, and then you just bounce off of each other, and it's just a nonstop. What do you call it? Content creation factory inside of the house. That's the best way I could describe it. I'm excited to try it out. We could be wrong about this, but I think it's right, and it sounds super fun. It's one thing to watch, and then you try it yourself, and you could be wrong, right? And you try it, it's like 3 years later, and you're like, that was a bad idea. I didn't have that much fun. It was a lot of pretending. You know what I mean? But I think just from what I've seen, it's going to look a lot like so much fun, and I can't wait to show that and to show the process. And speaking of showing the process, I think the next big thing for content creators is people need to stop, and I keep saying this, but I want it to be like a big central theme, is you got to start documenting the process of you growing. You know what I mean? I think people are interested in seeing the super bad, messy room, or the room that barely has anything in it, and then like after 2-3 months, you got a new wallpaper, you got new RGB lights, you got new like features for the stream. It makes them feel like they're a part of the journey. You know what I mean? And I think that's another good thing about content creation houses. Wolf Scratch says, I could see this for content creator. Sometimes for professional players, it's good to keep that shroud for certain situations. Good example would be F-Champ. He is known to be the heel of the FGC, but IRL, he's known to be a nice person. He's a pro player, not a content creator, so that could be a difference. Yeah, it's a good point. I'm gonna steal that cake. Thanks. Hey, King Live. If you're gonna do it, that just means we gotta collaborate. I like it.
Hey, I got Casey right up this same block, so.
Hey man, that would be phenomenal. And I think that people shouldn't be scared of like with 100 Talk Pod. How would you guys, honestly, like no bias, how would you guys feel if another podcast started talking about 100 Thieves? Like, how would you react to that? Out of curiosity. Cole, I don't know if you're still in the chat, but.
Yeah. Part of me wonders, like, why it hasn't happened yet.
Yeah. I'm honestly surprised, to be honest, that you're the only one.
But it's, I think it would be good for everybody. And I think it's good. It's always good to have differing opinions out there.
Yep.
And maybe there's somebody out there who has a different brand, right? And they're mad. That's not my thing, and I couldn't even pretend to do that kind of show.
Yeah.
So, I think, we are kind of in a unique position right now because there's not a lot. There's no one doing what we're doing, which, for most of the content that people are creating out there, that they can't say that. But the way I look at it is, if there are other people doing what you're doing, it pushes you to do what you're doing even better.
Yep.
So, right now, of course, Cole and I have to continue to push ourselves to do that in the absence of anybody else kind of create stuff that people might want to watch instead of us.
Yep.
So, I think I would welcome that. And if there's anybody out there thinking about doing it, I'd say do it.
Yeah, I think the same thing. One of my philosophies is the more the merrier. You know what I mean? Like, if someone else started a podcast talking about what it takes to grow as a content creator, I would be like, dude, we got to have like a co-podcast session going. That sounds amazing. Because not everyone is built the same, wired the same, thinks the same. So if there's more, I guess you could say content creators of a specific space or niche, even though, it kind of dilutes the quality a little bit, it also gives more unique perspectives to kind of sharpen an idea to where, it seems educational, professional, or refined. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. For sure. And more people thinking about the same thing that you are doing stuff for is good, right? More people being brought into the larger community is always a positive thing. So if you can reach somebody that I can't reach, great. And then maybe they'll drop in and view my stuff too sometime.
Yep.
Maybe they'll say something for them, but at least they'll be in the market. So, and with that, I should probably get running here.
Yeah, dude. Thank you for joining the podcast.
Thank you very much.
It's been super fun, and I'm gonna definitely be kind of checking in and just seeing how you guys are doing. I'm hoping that there's some things I can pick up from your community of creators here as we keep working on our stuff.
Yeah, I can't wait for future collaborations. We seriously appreciate it. I know it's like happy holidays, and it was kind of not gonna lie, chat. It was a last minute DM, and they kind of last minute responded. So huge thank you, everyone in the chat. Please give them a warm thank you for joining the podcast. We seriously appreciate it, and look forward to the future, man. Look forward to the future. I can't wait to hear you guys discuss about all the new leaks that Nate Chat has been doing. That's gonna be super exciting. Expect to see me in the chat.
There's gonna be so much to talk about, man. It's it's gonna be great. We're gonna have a blast, and hope that you guys will come check us out, even if you're not big 100 Thieves fans. It'll be an interesting storyline in the LCS this year. So we would definitely welcome anybody who wants to just kind of get another perspective or join the conversation.
Yep.
And then for anybody who doesn't know, we are on Twitch, and I think all of our socials are at 100 Talk Pod.
Yep.
And you can find me on Twitter at Jordan_Whicker, JORDAN_WHICKER. But Cole is on it. He mans the 100 Talk Pod socials, and he is the one that you really want to be following. So, drop into the chat, hang out with us.
Give them a follow. They do a phenomenal job talking about so many different things about 100 Thieves. Or if you're just curious on how they're going to do as an esports team against your favorite team, these dudes are going to talk about it. So give them a follow, check them out, and thank you for joining the podcast. We appreciate it, man. Happy holidays. Be safe. Stay warm.
Absolutely. To you guys do. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for joining.
All right. See you later.
And now we have... Hold up. Give us info. When will Bang marry Sneaky? Dude, I can't wait for that to happen. It's going to be so exciting. I can't wait. I can't wait. Highly recommend looking at 100T stuff, TalkPad stuff. Yeah, they have some really good stuff. For those that don't know, I want to plug them again real quick. What was his Twitter? Let me see if I can find some links. But guys, real quick, check out 100 Talk Pod. They're absolutely phenomenal. Again, they talk about 100 Thieves. They go really in depth. They've had the honor and the privilege, due to how amazing their content is, to actually interview the director of production for 100 Thieves. And yeah, they just do a really good job at getting in depth and talking about all the nitty gritty stuff about the organization. So highly recommend it. Highly recommend it. Let me see if I can get you guys their Twitter handle and their Twitch, because they deserve a plug. Big time, big time. I gotta get a shout feature for new channels. Yo, Scientif! Did you die on me, my dude? Did you die, my man? Did you die? Did you die? Let me see. 100 Talk Pod. Yo, King Live, Trip Font, Lacuna, welcome to the chat. Thank you for checking out the podcast. We seriously appreciate it. If you guys had any questions, I'd love to talk to you guys in the chat about if anyone streams in the chat or if you're doing content. Like, what do you guys think about what it takes to grow? What's worked for you guys? I'd love to talk to you guys about it. Feel free to join the Discord if you want to chat after stream as well. It was really nice to listen. Gonna drop a follow so I can get your content. We ain't done yet. Yeah, we're not done yet. Scientist, where did you go, my dude? Where did you go? By the way, real quick, let me see my emails. Wolf Scratch, thank you for following on Twitch. We seriously appreciate you, brother. The King Live, thank you for following. Scott1297, welcome to the chat. I don't think I properly welcomed you. Really appreciate the follow, brother. It means a lot. Lacuna, thank you for following. Seriously appreciate it. Seriously appreciate it. Wait. Yo, Scientist, where did you go, brother? Where did you go? Let me get you guys the 100 Talk Pod link, because again, they just do a phenomenal job. What blows my mind is how much they give back to the community. If you need some juicy merch and you love 100 Thieves as much as I do, they give back every time some new merch drops. So check them out. That's their Twitch. Their Twitter handle is also on there. And yeah. Scientist, are you there, brother?
Alrighty. Yeah, we are,
We're about to finish up. It's the last topic of the day.
Alright, sorry about that. So, my computer's absolutely done for. I need to figure out something in a bit. But, sorry about that. So, we're back. Hopefully, I can last out the rest of the podcast here. I'm not sure what's wrong with it quite yet. But once we figure it out, we'll fix it. So,
final topic of the day.
Final topic, yes.
League content creation direction.
Oh boy. Okay, yeah.
I know that's something you wanted to go into heavily.
Let's see. Assuming King, Yuna, and Wolf Scratch are still here, which I assume most of them are. They have all done League of Legends content at some point in time. Ha!
But
Wolf, what the
fuck? He is not the bootleg brother. I am the bootleg brother. I wish I could have even half the fashion. No sarcasm. It takes a true man to wear a hot dog suit and beautiful sunglasses the way he wears it. Just saying. But yeah, so you were saying King Live and Wolf Scratch. That hot dog is beautiful. They do league content creation?
They've all done it at least at some point in time.
Got it.
Wolf is mainly focused on, sorry about that, Smash right now. And King is currently focused on, yes. I always have the random shit, you know? Gotta have that surprise factor. Sorry, King is more of a variety streamer right now. Yeah, League Lost Touch, I can see that. Meme Touch, I don't know, maybe.
Yeah. Let's talk about it. Let's talk League Lost Touch. League of Legends consecration direction.
God, okay. Now I suppose it's just us two, and I can be a little bit more. I'm gonna be a little bit more informal at this point in time. Yep. Good God, it is an absolute shark show.
It's
bad. I think stream highlights are great. Wait, League died. when people
can't mess up once without being roasted by everyone. I don't
That
know
was
if I agree with that 100%. I think
Is that like in content or is that in game? Because that happens no matter what in game. You mess up once, you get MIA pinged to high hell and back.
I mean, yeah. But
doesn't
but
matter who or what you're playing.
that's usually because when I mess up, it's pretty bad. It's never like I missed an ability and then like everyone gripes about that. It's like I go into a bush and there's 5 people waiting and they blow me up and it's like, bro, what were you doing? You're 3/4 into the enemy nexus base by yourself, you know?
Alright, I'm gonna go full hot dog rant. Wolf! I totally agree with you. I'm sorry, I can agree notice how I only talked objectively about stream highlights? It's very great and beneficial for the growth of cross platforms, but I actually hate them. I'm sorry, as a person, this is an extremely one-sided view. As a person that's done mostly original League of Legends content creation for his entire existence, I just do not like the fact that it oversaturates the hell out of it, and it's just.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think that
as a byproduct, I'd almost say it's ruined the content creation scene of League of Legends because it's changed the content format to 10 minutes of one game of something. I mean, I don't really know what it is at this point. What are stream highlights?
No, I agree with you. So I think stream highlights needs to be looked at completely different from what I call quality League of Legends videos. Like, they're two different things. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And they shouldn't be seen in the same light. I think it's unfair that stream highlights has kind of dominated the, I guess you could say, the viewership game, just because it takes more than 10 times the amount of time to get a highly edited cinematic video that you've done a couple times for the channel versus just a stream highlights channel. So the biggest difference between a stream highlights and then like a cinematic is shot in like second person, first person at beautiful angles, and it just gives it that movie, again, cinematic feel to the video. Whereas stream highlights, it's just a pogger play, you cut, and then another pogger play, and then you throw in an inting play to give it some variety, and then it's just the rest poggers. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man, that's the Bunny Boo Foo classic. You gotta go until he gets the gunshot. He's like, oh no, I died.
No, I died. Yeah.
Back to back.
You know what I will say though is I feel like Bunny Fufu's editor, I forgot which one it is, or 2 of them. There's 2 of them that does it, who does a phenomenal job at actually making the video like entertaining with quality edits.
Bunny Fufu's editors they go above and beyond. God bless their souls.
Yeah, bless their souls.
Honestly, Bunny Fufu as the personality is okay. He's okay, but his editors actually make the videos. Oh, hey, you gotta actually, hold up. You wanna join us, Wolf?
Clickbait titles too. It's not even just League either. Remember when Shroud was playing PUBG and it would be like Shroud pub stops with new Victor, and he literally got like 1 double kill throughout the entire video using a Vector. Yeah.
Hey Diego, you wanna rig this up like Hotline League where we just bring on a few people?
Yeah, let's do it. It'll be like
Wolf Scratch and King. I can both add them here. Wolf. Let's add right here. So.
Wolf, welcome to the podcast.
Assuming he answers within a timely minute, that's okay. Hey.
Maybe, possibly. Wolf, do you want to join? Yikes, wish I could join you in Discord, my dude. Feel free to join us.
Hello, I don't have a webcam.
No, it's okay. It's okay. If anything, you're making my life easier, so I don't have to reformat the weird hot dog into the overlay.
Oh, perfect. All right. So, I think my biggest gripe with like stream highlights is that I think a good example would be like Synapse. I think that's one of the worst things. So like at first he does these stream highlights, right? Yep. And I would occasionally watch them. I'm just like, oh, okay, I don't watch the stream, so I can catch up on. That'd be great for me to look at. But the worst part is that he realizes that he's making such regurgitated content, so he forcibly puts really shitty jokes in it, like Unstoppable, by the way. And I'm like, that's not even funny, He's just kind of is forcibly putting it in.
Yeah.
Or it's just like, dude, I can't even take this, by the way. And I'm like, come on, dude. It's like it's so forced. It's lost. Like you guys are talking about like genuine stuff.
Yep.
That's like a thing I can perfectly say. That's not genuine at all. It's just forced to try to get yourself more viewers, and it just hurts to see it.
It does.
Yeah, it does. Alrighty. Let's see. I think the overall direction is moving more towards Twitch as the League of Legends content scene. Because it's ironic, because a lot of people like watching League of Legends full game commentaries. No. Ankle Spankin is dying. I'm actually kind of sad. I really like Ankle Spankin, but
I like Ankle Spankin.
Really get away with doing full game commentaries on YouTube anymore because they don't
work.
You don't suck people in right away.
And
people.
Cole says, "Whoa, I'm gone for a while, and I come back, and my man is in a hot dog costume. He likes to dress up for the podcast."
Wait, I was in the hot dog costume the whole time.
But I had the camera angled so you couldn't see it, so that was a little bit of my fault.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yeah, like you said, nobody wants to see the full gameplay. To be honest, even I don't want to see the full gameplay 40-minute game on YouTube, mainly because YouTube now is consumed as 10 minutes to maximum 15 to 20 if you absolutely have to do it, or if you're just going to upload a full podcast. But gameplay specifically, no one wants to see the full you walking to turret, you going into the jungle and then spamming control F3, you want the highlights, you want the poggers. Whereas people are going to Twitch for the community interaction and League of Legends. And Wolf, if you don't mind me asking, what's your opinion on community interaction versus YouTube persona stream highlights on YouTube?
So I feel like that YouTube personas, in my opinion, at first they were more genuine, but nowadays it seems more forced and faked. I think it's really upsetting to see that, because my biggest gripe with Bunny Fufu is not the fact that he's making these kind of videos. It's the fact that he transitioned from such a respected professional player into this more of a content, even clickbaity sort of thing. And there was a lot of controversy about him. He was creating fake games and such like that. He was creating these games and stuff. So I guess that's what annoyed me the most. But I respect him because his videos they're pretty good, and his editors are definitely carrying most of the weight.
Yeah, his editors are. I actually met Bunny Fufu at the airport on my way back from TwitchCon. That is a true story. I have pictures. I don't mind showing them again on Twitter. And he was with the editor, League of Edits. I don't remember what Bunny Fufu calls him in the videos, but he's the same guy he's one of the two editors that does all the crazy effects on video. And it was funny because I said, dude, whoever your editors are, those two editors, and you know who I'm talking about because that's where your viewership spikes up. You need to give them a pay raise, because they're absolutely amazing. He smiled and laughed, and the guy next to him, who was the editor, was like, "Oh yeah, who are you talking about, by the way?" Mention his name. He's like, "Yeah, that's me." I'm glad you agree with me. We're gonna have a nice long chat on the airplane, brother. And that was that. But well, what do you think on that, Scientific?
As in sorry, I don't really see where you're trying to come in from. As in
in terms of how the whole, sorry, I got a little off topic. The whole persona thing, what Wolf was talking about. Do you feel like it's fake and forced?
I was gonna go off. Well, it's it's fake and forced. There's the YouTube culture, Jake Paul, Logan Paul, KSI, all these major YouTube superstars. They don't act like that.
I agree.
There's no way Jake Paul tases everybody. Okay, maybe Jake Paul tases everybody. Maybe Logan Paul just looks for dead bodies everywhere. But no human acts like that in real life. It's glorified. It's glorified to try and get viewers to watch.
Yep.
And I honestly don't like that, but it feels like that's kind of what you need to be in this day and age. Otherwise, you just won't be successful.
So here's my opinion.
Because you need to be something.
I'm kind of, and I think it's the opposite. So I think we've gotten so much of that in the past year, especially in 2018.
Sorry. Can I interrupt real quick? I was going to say, eventually it's going to reverse the fact. So everybody's sick and tired of all this just BS personality stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Then it's going to flip. People are going to want authenticity and transparency between the creators and their audiences.
I think, personally, that now that we're in 2019, people kind of want that now. I think they're getting tired of it.
Totally.
I really do. And that's why Twitch is growing versus YouTube, because YouTube, the focus is like, you know, the quality moments and the epic moments and the glorified moments, whereas Twitch is, you can only keep up a persona for so long during a 5-hour, 8-hour stream. You know what I mean? Like, and chat, like, when you have multiple people watching you live, you're going to get caught when your persona cracks, you know?
Yeah, people keep you in line.
Yep.
Basically.
I mean,
That's what Night Blue 3 a while back. That whole problem.
Like persona cracking, I think it's fun to see what happens. Like a good example would be Doctor Disrespect when he listened to something really funny and he almost broke character.
Yeah,
I thought that was one of the best moments I ever seen because he's like trying so hard to keep like the face that he gave himself and see him almost break it and then recover as fast as
possible.
He's keeping like, you know that it's not his real attitude.
Yep.
But you respect him for keeping it up instead of faking it.
I agree. So
yeah, I suppose that's something different. Just like people that inherently create a over-the-top personality, like an ironic personality, if you will, right?
Yep.
Instead of an unironic personality where they want to be perceived as that.
I think one good thing about you trying to bring back the dead art of Cinematic League of Legends, right? Even though it's difficult and it's time consuming, is people are getting busier in their day, like just in general. There's more tech available. There's more stuff you need to manage as an entrepreneur in terms of like your social media. That eats up time out of your day. And because of that, in my opinion, at least this is the way I see it, just because a lot of my time has been sucked up lately, is I only go onto YouTube and I only watch videos. I used to watch videos for the memes or like just to have it play, you know? But now, since I don't have time for that, I look for those quality videos. So I feel like this is a good time for you to be bringing that type of video back, because now, instead of just looking for the stream highlights, they can just have that playing on audio these days. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I had a... Oh, sorry, did you want to talk, Wolf? Oh, no, sorry.
I'll say it again.
I was going to say, it sounded like you were saying something. My bad.
No. I think one good point is that I think the fact that why the Cinematic League kind of died out, it's because one of the important factors you're talking about making videos and creating this base is consistency.
Yep.
And creating these cinematics are super time consuming. Like, I remember doing cinematics for Counter-Strike to make them for my video, but it just got exhausting. Like, the first day I'm super motivated. I want to make these cinematics and get these camera angles down, and I work super hard. The next day, I have that attitude. After a week, I'm sitting at my chair, staring at my computer, like, I just want to die. I don't want to do this anymore. So then, because like one perfect thing is a video that I made for a CS:GO montage. The first like 3/4 of the video is great. The cinematics are on point. The frags are great. The last quarter of the video is literally me just giving up internally. And I just try to put in like the leftovers I have. It's because like it takes so long and it's so exhausting that it doesn't feel like it's worth it to put in the time. But you know that you have to, because that's what people know for you to do, and it's worth it in the end. But it's hard to see that when
you're not getting the recognition for it.
Yeah, because like when I made CS:GO videos, I didn't get much viewership. My friends enjoyed it. That was the only thing that got me motivated. But when my friends started to move on from Counter-Strike, I was just like, okay, I got to move on to a different game. So I was like, okay, I'll try League. And I had success with my first League video that got like 9.3k views, but it didn't hold up. My next video that I made was only 300. So I felt really I felt so motivated after making that one. And then right after that, I was just not motivated to do it at all. So, and I realized that the reason that the first League video worked is because that it was kind of fresh. But when I started making the next ones, those were champions that already had a shitload of videos about them. So they were just kind of redundant and no one really wanted to see them. Like the only really good one I had was one after that one was for Teemo, because Teemo is a champion that everyone hates and is popular on YouTube. And Nara's also a champion. But Lee Sin, when you type in Lee Sin, you want to see like
the
really
insane
good
montage plays.
Yeah, you don't want to see funny shit like what I do. So I was like, okay, I can't do that. So I was like, okay, I'll try Thresh. Maybe I'm just picking the wrong champion. No, I was wrong. People want to see the good content because those are skilled champions. So I had to learn that the hard way. So when I started picking champions that people don't really care about, like Teemo, I get 500, I get like 600 views. Or when I pick Kled, I get like 465. So I'm like, okay, I need to continue this. But at that point, I'm so exhausted
Yeah.
that I need to take a break. So I'm trying to move on to Overwatch because it's like fresh content. It just didn't work. You know, it's hard to find that because I was too late.
Right. So 3 things I want to mention. First, King Live said, the sad truth is I think it's more about the way you market yourself on social media than it is about your content quality. The age of, and I agree with this, the age of if you build it, they will come has passed. That is a fact. A lot of the stuff I say, I want it to be opinion, but that, I agree it's a fact. I don't think that you can stream 9 hours a day, 5 times a week, and you get lucky. Maybe you do, but the market is so oversaturated that now it's like winning the lottery, right?
Yeah, no, it is. It is.
So now you need, and this goes back to what we said before. I don't want to go too into it, but now you need the quality. Now you need to have how you present yourself on social media. You got to be doing the extra mile in clipping certain things on Twitch and then putting it on Twitter and Instagram, right? And then going back to what you were saying, Wolf, about how it's exhausting to do these, because and I know because I've seen, like, I know the steps on what it takes to actually do them, and I know for a fact, me personally, I could not do it. I couldn't. That's why I got my buddy Scientive here. That's why I thank him a lot, because I really appreciate you, bro. I really appreciate you. But like, it's exhausting. But I think one of the biggest things for motivation is, one, you can't go 200% all the time. You're going to burn out. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah, no, I always
like I say go 80%, in my opinion. I don't think, it's better for you to put out 1 video a week and it be quality than you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Than a video a day. But vice versa. Like, you can also put a ton of videos out, but if you do that, you gotta be okay with the quality not being okay. It just depends what you prefer more. Do you prefer the discoverability because of the people? And if that's true, don't worry about the quality as much. And if you don't, and you care about the quality more than the people, which isn't a bad thing, then focus on the quality, but be okay with only releasing it once a week or like twice a month, 3 times a month. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I agree with you there. Like, I fell into the trap of saying if I just keep on like spewing out content, I'll get lucky and one of them will be popular.
Yep.
And then I kind of realized that I can't do that. I have to make videos that I have to like care about the video that I'm making, and then I have to go off of that and then create like something that I really want to do. That's why I started after like the league content. After I got tired of it,
right?
I made and I stopped and all that stuff. So I made something about Ultimate Chicken Horse, and it didn't get a lot of views, but I genuinely enjoyed making it because I had fun with my friends, and I didn't care that it didn't get a lot of views. So after I started to change that mindset, I took a break from making content for a while because I just couldn't handle it anymore because it's really hard to make. I started doing casting for League.
Nice.
Like I cast league tournaments and stuff like that. Awesome. I cast for the tournaments like for the Sugar Free League, which is kind of a small one. But I think one big part that helped me grow was that I used to cast for a smaller thing. It's that league event that happened at the Microsoft stores. Have you heard about it?
I've heard about it.
Yeah. So you would go to the Microsoft store, and then there'd be like the league tournament, and then like if you win first place, you would earn like RP and also even the championship, the triumphant rise and stuff like that.
Yep. So
after I got into that kind of stuff, I played a lot, and I was like gold 4. So I was just like, I'm just playing it because I think I'm like the best player in the world, and I think I'm hot shit. And then like the first time I get paired up with like other gold people and silver player, the first team we go up against is a master challenger team.
Nice.
Alrighty.
Yeah.
Made an emergency swap over to my laptop because my computer is actually just dying right now for some reason.
Oh, that's good.
Welcome back. Welcome back.
Dying kind of like. Oh god.
No. Default webcam, baby. That's not what I wanted.
Default webcam is the best. Oh yeah. So after I continued casting, I casted at that certain event because I saw like the Microsoft staff doing it, and I thought it would be interesting to do it because I was like, okay, I gotta give up on being a professional player because I'm ass. And I actually enjoy doing it. I enjoy talking and I enjoy casting these League games because I care about League. League is a big part of my life
Right.
at this point, and it still is today. I still cast.
So,
But yeah,
so my take. Sorry to interrupt. My take on that is you should do what you enjoy versus
Yes.
what's trending. Even though what's trending will get more views at first, you won't get the views even though you're doing something that is trending because like the effort isn't there. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
and if it
no.
is there, it's only there, like you said, for a week or two, and you will burn out.
Yeah, like
I think people get sorry. Last thing, people get
Yeah.
hung up on the end goal when that's not, from my experience, that's not how you find something that you really enjoy. Like you gotta have a vision, you gotta have an end goal, but you gotta love the process of getting there more than the end goal. And if you can hit that, I think that's what tells you that you found something you really enjoy to do.
I completely agree with you there. Like making the League content, it was fun because I enjoyed playing League, but
Right.
after a while I realized that it wasn't something that I could like potentially do all the time.
Right.
So yeah, after I started casting, I got really lucky because the event was getting pretty popular and where I was, because it was literally it was near where Riot Games in LA was held in.
Right.
So Riot Games was just like, hey, in a few weeks we're going to be coming to your tournament and we're going to let you guys test out something new. So I was really excited at this point, but I think one of the scariest things about it was that actual League people were going to come, and I was like, I could potentially turn this into a career as casting.
Yep.
Because you don't really think about that. Like the casters make such an impact in these esports, in the esports company.
Oh yeah,
I
huge.
felt like I felt like that I was up for the challenge. So I ended up casting for the Riot event, and we got to alpha or beta test something that you probably seen right now, Clash. You know the Clash thing in League.
Yep.
Yeah, we got to test that before it came out.
Nice.
And, it was pretty messy. I'm not gonna lie. It was pretty bad. Like I remember I said on mic because I wasn't thinking. I was just like, this Clash thing has been a really disappointment so far. Like
I mean,
things are
that
just
was
not
the
working
launch.
out.
I don't want to go too
Yeah.
much into it because it's been covered, but the launch was really bad,
yeah.
and the
Yeah.
client itself it's still buggy to this day.
And yeah, it still kind of sucks. But I think after that, the casting went really well. I had to cast for 9 hours straight. It was exhausting.
So
casting
talking about
for
9 hours straight, King Live just mentioned having a schedule of streaming 9 hours a day, 5 days a week isn't a grind. It's lazy. 100% agree. In today's age, streaming isn't about you playing games. It's about entertainment. You can't be entertaining for those ridiculous hours straight. It takes little work to turn on a stream and game for 9 hours. Agreed.
Oh, that's actually
For anyone looking to grow, I say stream 3 days a week. Agreed. For 34 hours max. Depends, but agree for the most part. Instead, focus on all of your content being entertaining and awesome. Also agree.
Hey, that's what you're doing, Diego.
That is, yeah, that's basically what I'm doing, which is why I agree with most of it. When I say I agree with most of it on the 3 to 4 hours max, the only part I don't agree with is for specific content, like if you're doing a subathon where like the more people that show support through subs and donations and all that, the longer the stream goes, then it's okay. Or if you're planning to do like a big charity long time like stream grind, then that's fine.
Yeah.
But
like Skara 24-hour stream fell asleep on hour 23.
yeah, or like Mo
Skara.
Yasuo with his insane 24-hour streams. I
He
think
thought he was
24-hour
gonna get
streams
the
are
host
insane
for-
hype.
I
think
thought he
it
was gonna get
it was
the host.
hilarious when Scar today he just fell asleep, died, and woke up. He's like, "What happened?"
What
He's still
happened?
playing.
Yep.
Did
Yeah, I
you
remember
see
that.
the video where that happened though, where he had to get the 24-hour stream? He thought he was pulling out the host from Fed block, but instead he got the 24-hour stream block
Oh,
because they were playing
Oh.
Drunk Jenga.
Wow.
you hate to see it happen.
You hate to see it happen. You hate to see it
Yeah, I really
happen.
do.
It's fun. It's fun to watch 24 hours. One.
Alright, sorry, that's a little side tangent, but
No, it's part of it. I
Yeah,
get
so
it.
King, King, we need to chat. You sound like
back up. Let's
you sound
see.
like you've done a lot of research, my man. Like he says, you can't stream 8 hours a day. You gotta just do 4 or however long you can handle being entertaining, and it's got to be genuine entertainment. It can't be a fake persona, in my opinion. I don't think that slides anymore in today's age. And if it does right now, I think it's going to shift by mid or end 2019. And instead of you streaming 8, do 4, and then the 4 afterwards that you would do it, like he says, put them into social media and video editing or coming up with content and planning for content. Instead of doing the 8-hour stream and edit and promote on social media, because if you do all that, you're going to burn out.
Oof.
Yeah, that sounds like someone I know.
Wait, I didn't do that. Wait. Oh, wait. I did. Damn it! Ah!
Also, this is assume you have inhuman hours to work like I do, fortunately. Yeah, and then, like, biggest thing for anything you do in life, whether it's, like, a dream job, it doesn't even have to be content creation. You got to make sure that what you're sacrificing, like, I don't agree with the statement time is money, but time is valuable. Like, it's more than money. You know what I mean? So, whatever time you're sacrificing from your family or the things you love for this dream job of yours, you got to make sure you're not doing it to where it harms you. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know someone who's like that.
I've seen so many YouTube stories of like King was saying, grind insane amounts of hours, and then like years later, they're just like destroyed because nothing.
Yeah, there's a limit. There's a limit with everything. There's always going to be too much of something, and
Yep.
YouTubing is one of the.
Yep. There's also a huge. I think it's watching a lot of it on Twitter. There's a lot of self-care culture, if you will.
Yes.
Is the classic stay hydrated, stay comfy, don't overwork. That's really true. You do it as you enjoy it, not as. I mean, we're not like video game coders about to like release our once a year thing, you know?
Yeah.
We're not on crunch time. We're on our own time.
Mm-hmm.
But
I think of for that. I think so. When I was younger, I still am pretty young. Like the first thing that I wanted to be when I grow up was like I wanted to have like a stable job so I can make myself like money.
Right.
But then that dream slowly evolved into I don't want to work. And when people first hear that, I love seeing their reaction because they're just like, "Oh, you're just gonna be unemployed." But I like to say it differently. No, because if you genuinely enjoy doing something, you don't work. You do what you love to do, and that's the dream is to have a job that you love so much that every day is not you're not working a day at all. You're just doing what you enjoy the most, and I think that's the reason why I loved casting so much is that I casted for 9 hours, but every hour was something that I remember to this day. I just love doing it. And once you find, I think the hardest part in life is finding exactly what it is, because sure, you might, let's say like a kid enjoys doing baseball, right? But he's not going to enjoy for the rest of his life, you know, hitting balls and running around the bases. It's finding the passion or something that really puts a fire inside of you. That's the hardest part about life.
Which is why you got to find something where you like the process more than the end result.
Yeah.
Because if the end result is all you care about, if you don't get it, which you won't get it for the first few years, like 2 to 5 years is the average till you see like really, really good growth. Like people are like, oh my God, Ninja's insanely big. He's so huge. He works so hard, blah, 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 blah. Like if I become like him and I work just as hard as he does, I'm going to make it in a year. I'm like, guys, he's been streaming for like 5 to 7 years. Like
he didn't just instantly pop up. It's all through.
He was a Halo Pro, right?
I honestly don't like most of the Fortnite like creators because they're kind of like regurgitated stuff. But I respect Ninja as a person because he like worked to that point, and you can't take that away from him.
You can't. Yeah, no matter what, even if he says something dumb, completely like just incorrect or like rude or disrespectful.
What the fuck you say to me?
Yeah. Look, real quick, I just want to clear that. I want to clear that meme up. Personally, I prefer Myth over Ninja. But that's just because I relate to like his origin story more. But talking about that meme, a kid like disrespected him on stream really badly.
Yeah.
I just find it funny how that hasn't been cleared up to this day.
Because it's out of context. It's perfect for the meme.
Yeah. Like advertise his stream on everyone else's. I don't know if that was his. I'm not gonna comment on that. I don't know if that was something he did or something Twitch did. I feel like it was something Twitch did. Maybe. Not sure. Can't really say. I don't know. That's just a guess.
We'll have to see.
But yeah, going back to League content creation, I don't think League content creation is dead. I think it's just hit like, and I don't think it's decreasing either. I think
It's hit an awkward spot.
the popular is boring to watch.
Well,
So
boy, do I have the content for you, because this actually semi-motivated me as of late to start uploading. I don't know if I interrupted Dreamer or not.
no, you go ahead.
Did. Okay. Saw a video from gbay99, except it was on his secondary channel, gbay100. I didn't actually see it until a friend of mine actually sent it to me, because he was, I was getting back into content creation.
Yep.
And gbay elaborates on how it's such a Red Sea market. And a Red Sea market is basically when the boundaries become so rigid and constructed.
Yep.
There's little wiggle room as to what you can actually create.
Yeah.
And have it succeed, I should say.
Yep.
So, what gbay is saying is that so you have the two types. You have the stream highlights, and then you have the educational type League of Legends content.
Yep.
And he claims that there is a niche of people that are looking for high quality League of Legends content, whether that be something like documentaries, history of League of Legends, even gameplay with friends, I would assume maybe, that's entered it up to par with something as good as stream highlights or better. So that's where I'd imagine where it's coming next, is sort of like a grassroots movement. I talked about this with Casey earlier. So yeah, the next big thing in League of Legends will be a return, I think, to those original creators. So hopefully it goes there.
I think so too.
Like it too.
That's why I am very happy to have you on the Dream Team. And that's why I can't wait to grow to a point, like, jokes aside, to actually be able to get back to you, because you do a lot for the channel. As does the rest of the mods and VIPs in the Dream Team chat. Thank you so much. I love you all. But yeah, yeah, I'm excited for it. I give it like 4 months before that type of content starts coming back, because League isn't dying. I don't agree with that statement. If anything, I feel like I'm starting to see a resurgence in it. In terms
it definitely is. Right
yeah,
now.
Especially compared to like 5 months ago. But I think it's going to be this battle of who has the better editing skills for those cinematic, videos. On top on top of the person behind it having a community to back him up. I don't think you can get away with scientists' badass editing, but you don't have the amazing community that supports him. You know what I mean? Like, you got to brand yourself geniusly.
Oh, we got the I don't know what I need to work on branding. I don't know what I have yet.
Dude, the science squad.
I was gonna say my Discord server right now is called Science Lab. I want to try to do something around that, but I'll figure it out eventually.
The science lab.
Yeah, but like, so talking about that, I think it's important to like give a title. Not a title. I don't like the word title, but like, like a name for the family. You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
That way you can reference it, and it's got to be genuine. Like, I don't know if you guys believe me, but I genuinely appreciate every single one of, like, everyone that's in the Dream Team. You know what I mean? And I think every content creator, like, you're going to get called out now 2 to 3 months from now for not being genuine and not appreciating or not giving back to your community.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think it's really big. Especially, I think every comment, every like, I'm in my head. I don't know, like, I can't see all the likes, but I'm like, I don't know who that was, but thanks, man. you just made my day a little bit better.
King Live says genuinely appreciates Persona. So like, for real though, so like, talking about the whole Persona, he's fake, I think it's just because there's been so much. We've had like 5 years of nothing but content creators on YouTube and Twitch, right? That since people like to look at the negative, they're starting to say like, that's just a persona. So why people are so attracted to Twitch, and why I think there's this big movement and shift from YouTube to Twitch, is after the 3rd hour or 4th hour of streaming, or even during the stream, it's very easy to see whether or not it's a persona. You know what I mean? You can fake it. You can fake it on YouTube. I don't think you can fake it on Twitch. I really don't.
No, YouTube you can hide it better because
Yep.
it's not live. But on Twitch, you're live. It's basically with the camera at you with your day-to-day life. You can't fake it. It's gonna show eventually.
Yeah.
Like you can do your best to hide it, but until then, it'll expose itself at the worst possible time.
Night Blue sends their regards.
King says there's so many of these people though that you'll the Night Blue comment. Wow, that was.
I mean, if you just want a prime example of what happens when your persona cracks, that would be Night Blue.
That would be Night Blue. I agree. King says there's so many of these people though that you'll meet in person, and they're literally the exact same person. That's true, but I've also met people that aren't. But either the viewership has dropped or they had to rebrand in order for them not to drop. You know what I mean? Like, apparently Tyler 1 off stream is like a super nice, caring, loving gentleman. Which blows my mind because...
No, that's actually means that he's doing a good job. Like, Champ, like you said F minus Champ, I thought that was hilarious. His name is Filipino Champ. That's just the short name for it.
Oh my god.
He's known to be like the biggest heel in FGC. Like there's like people wanted him to lose. But the thing was is that he would win too. That's what made such a good villain for that kind of stuff. So I find him and Tyler the same way because F Champ in game and also like in competitions is known to be the big bad guy. Like I remember one time one person challenged him and after he beat him he literally flipped him off and on stream.
Yeah.
So it's just like that kind of stuff. But then in real life he like helps people out. He's like an active like volunteer for the community. And I was like, Tyler 1 isn't going to be like this all the time. You know, there's definitely something else that goes on in real life. And and he does that and he hides it, which is good because people want to see the personality as he is right now.
But I think it's funny because lately I don't know if you've watched his recent streams or like his recent content, but like lately he's gotten nicer compared to his persona. And I think it's because he's purposely letting like himself show a little more because viewers are starting to be like, I don't want the persona. I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? Like that's all I get on YouTube.
He's letting the true self be known right now. Or it's the fact that Freak got to him already.
That too.
He's like tapping on his window every time.
Well, is there anything you guys wanted to talk about? Anyone in the chat, do you have any questions for... It could be anything about the new year. New year goals you guys want to share? Scientific, do you have any New Year resolutions to end the podcast
Make
on?
better content.
I was gonna say make more content.
Make more content. I like make more content.
What the fuck?
I like make more. Let's go with make more content.
Actually, it can always be better. Everything can be better.
Everything can be better. I agree.
But first, I think, in my opinion, just make more. I think the quality, for the most part, is there. But the quantity, definitely lacking in the Kraken, in my opinion.
Yeah.
So, we're gonna get there eventually, but...
You should employ, like, a schedule for... And I know it's kind of hypocritical, considering that, I stream.
I can't believe you've done this.
To this day, I don't really have a consistent stream schedule. There's circumstances, but I don't like to make excuses. So, but I do agree that a schedule really helps. And you can use the Premiere feature. I feel like for your type of edits, like the Premiere feature on YouTube is absolutely phenomenal.
Sorry. Okay, the reason why I did that, I did a premiere with my audience. I was it was me, Wolf, and a bunch of my friends in Discord. As you know, most of my friends who are probably my biggest fans and biggest critics.
Y'all just like this video at the start.
Yeah, they're like, prove it's good, and we'll like it back. I think somebody left it their dislike because it had a Sprite cranberry meme in it.
What,
yeah,
they had.
True.
Oh, interesting.
Wait, was that you?
No. I like your video. Are you joking me? Nah, I just did that for the meme. The fact that you put your Sprite cranberry video in, and I was like, enough of that. No, I think Premiere is, it's right now, it's a 50-50 whether it's good right now. Because some people like it,
and some people don't like it, like on Twitter. Like I remember one of my YouTubers I like to watch, he did the premiere thing and all of his viewers really disliked that. So then he not did it, but some other people might like it. It really depends because it kind of came out of nowhere. It's a good idea on paper,
Right.
but how the community reacts to it is kind of strange.
Yeah, I think it really depends on like how, because the way YouTube puts premieres down is they put it in your feed right away and they tell you when it's going to schedule.
Yep.
So for example, if you put down a video in your feed like 2 days before it actually premieres,
You're gonna forget it.
that's 2 days all the way down your YouTube feed that you don't see the premiere.
Yeah.
So how the hell am I supposed to know my favorite uploader is supposed to like be coming out in 5 minutes, and I don't even see it? It's like a Randy Orton, man. It's be like, boom,
Boom.
you just missed a premiere. What do you mean?
Yeah.
That kind of thing.
Like when I did my premiere, I literally made it. I scheduled it ahead of time, and I wasn't even a day. It was like 15 minutes in advance. 15 minutes. I was just like, okay, we gotta do this in 15 minutes because I don't want to lose people at the start. And honestly, I do it because like I just want to watch it go down with the live audience of my friends reacting to the video. I think that's why I do it. It's actually kind of nerve-wracking. It's nerve-wracking, is it not?
It is. It
Right?
is.
Because it was
especially
I was nervous.
I don't know. For
especially
me,
yesterday.
I'm weird. I'll be honest. I'm a little different.
Yeah, we know that.
Yeah. I don't really get nervous with the premieres. If anything, it's kind of like excitement. And then like
It's
if someone
both, in my
criticizes
opinion.
it, I get even more excited because like that means the next
you're
video is gonna be
wrong.
better. But that's just how I see it, you know? Like I'm the type of dude that, real talk, if it wasn't because of laws, I would be like without clothes, just walking in the streets, chilling. Like I don't mind exposing my dirty laundry to the people. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I guess it's because like I have a problem with being a little too self-conscious of myself. So maybe I just feel like that if I don't make good content, people will be disappointed in me, even though like I know I worked hard on this. So
Yeah.
I just did it.
I can see that. I
think
can
the
see that.
main reason why I was nervous is because they're my friends. I take their criticism the most out of anybody's.
Mm-hmm.
I take their criticism to heart the most of anybody's, especially one of them. So it's just like, I mean, I guess that's why I was so nervous. But overall, I think it's a fun time. It's a fun time.
I think the best part is when we saw the Sprite Cranberry meme and we all just.
Oh, everybody was fucking wild.
You're like, bro, what is this? Cranberry. And then I asked you to ask me for the Sprite Cranberry, and I actually pulled one out. It was like one of my.
I think is that in the video? I don't think that's in the next video.
No, it shouldn't be. I was like, hey, ask me if I want a Sprite Cranberry. You want a Sprite Cranberry?
All right,
Let's
so
see. Who's even listening to this damn ramble?
I don't remember. We
let's
should probably-
end the podcast with one last thing.
Sure. A positive note.
What are your resolutions or your promises or your goals in
Oh,
terms
I
of
wrote
your
this out.
channel? For the both of you.
I wrote this.
All right, we'll let Sign go first.
I wrote this down. Nasty.
Dude, by the way, real quick, chat. Nasty followed me on Twitter. Please follow him back. He's like so awesome, and the fact that he followed me, like, actually,
Yeah,
I lost my mind. Like, I don't know if you saw the Instagram story, but like, I was screaming. I was fanboying.
Yeah,
Oh my God.
I used to do a little bit of editing for him back in the day. He was actually, I was one of the original people that just said, hey, edit stuff. And he's like, yeah, man. So in the reply that I said to him, 1K YouTube subs, I feel like that's pretty doable. If I can get back on a consistent uploading basis. Collab with Remember the Beat when I go to New Zealand, and I'm on the OCE servers. And I know that's an insane jump.
What?
Do you know Remember the Beat?
No.
Okay, he's probably my favorite Oceanic League of Legends YouTuber. He does a
You
lot
talked
of
about him before.
yeah, weeb stuff, which I find he's like one of the few League YouTubers that incorporates anime into League of Legends stuff, like content, and I find it a lot of fun because well, I do the same shit for the most part.
Interesting.
And the next one is sort of a series that I'm doing is to get diamond.
Mm-hmm.
So
Oh yeah, didn't I get diamond before you?
I remember
Yeah.
the beat. Double
Still
H
interview-
Dude,
remembers.
feels good, man. Like I
Yeah,
remember
what the
Cyan was bragging to me that he was plat and I was like gold 5, and I was just like,
wait,
all
what
right.
was the gold 5?
I was
Oh,
gold
that
4
was
or
on the-
5. Yeah, and I was just like, I'll show you, and then I climbed all the way to diamond. You can do anything.
That's because you're like plat 4. There's like 2 weeks left, and you grinded non-stop.
Yeah, to get Dave.
Nice. That's beautiful. That's
only-
amazing.
All I did was just played AP fulls, AP zillion mid, because you can't feed if you just ult yourself, and your teammates can't feed if you ult them.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
That's like
Yeah.
the logic I had. And I'm also Asian, so I guess that helped too.
Also, yeah, I think those are the main goals for my Twitter is try and collab with some OCE YouTubers, get a 1K subs, and doing ranked to Diamond series. So, yep.
I like it. What about you, Wolf? What about you? What are your goals for this year?
My goals, stick to Smash Ultimate. I think it's the best way right now. It's gonna be hyped for a long time, so I feel like that's the best choice. Continue casting for both League and Smash Ultimate. I was really lucky with Smash Ultimate. I got Twitch affiliate because I was casting.
Nice.
For
Congrats.
yeah, for the main subreddit, the tournament they have, I'm gonna be the ones hosting for the tournaments and in charge of it. So I think it's really lucky that I'm in charge of it because I did it really early. Like as the Reddit was growing, I was like, hey, I'll be in charge of it. So that's definitely mine, and definitely maybe look to collaborate with other people. Maybe even sign if he's good enough. You know,
If he's
I'm
good
not
enough,
sure
if he
I'm not even
Oh
sure if he's
wait,
good.
probably not a Smash Ultimate. I'm not a very good Smash player. I enjoy it.
Yeah, just editing in general. Just
Oh,
like
edit general. Oh, fuck yeah, for sure. Oh,
Dude,
Yeah.
Smash edits. That's that's gonna be super hype.
Oh yeah,
You know,
and
it's
also
actually-
they made it so that when you're doing they let you change the camera angles and stuff. So I'll be working on that. So I'll definitely like look to sign for help on camera angles.
Oh,
and
that's gonna be pretty. I can't wait. Yeah, I can't wait to see. There's got to be some way to do cinematic Smash edits.
Oh yeah,
that would be
there
so
was
cool to
cinematic
watch.
Smash 4 edits. The community was rather small though, because I'm pretty sure the
It's not popular, yeah.
yeah, it's just really. I mean, I suppose any editing scene is generally pretty small in different like large games, but
Yep.
yeah, the Smash scene is definitely really small. This is one actually of a League editor that switched over to Smash recently. He made this edit. I'll just drop that in the link. But yeah, that's something I'll be excited to see grow.
Nice. I like it. I like it.
But I think if there's one game that's super successful with edits, it's CS:GO. It's been such a popular thing to make edits in that game.
Real
And
quick,
it's become
I hate to
a big
interrupt.
part of it.
100 Talk Jordan, thank you for joining the podcast, dude. I like the rename on the I'm blanking out the username. I like the new username. Welcome to the
100
chat.
Talk Jordan.
Thank you for joining. We seriously appreciate it. Love you
Yeah,
so
man.
much. Have a great day. Happy holidays, brother.
Happy holidays, my man.
Oh yeah, so I'm on past Three Kings Day.
I like the goals,
What was it
man.
called?
I like the goals. We got a lot of stuff
was it?
planned. There's gonna be huge. We're gonna end
So
the
what's your
podcast
goal?
here. There's
Oh
gonna be.
man.
Yeah, I know.
Open
Mainly
that can of worms.
because I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock and I got a dip pretty soon.
Ah.
I have
So
to.
your
I
goal is to
forgot.
sleep?
I completely forgot that I start work tomorrow.
Ooh.
Whoa.
Yeah, that slipped my mind. Completely forgot
Well,
about
sucks.
that. I gotta wake up
Guess
like at
who-
6 a.m.,
Unemployed.
7 a.m. But anyways, thank you for joining the podcast, Wolf. Thank you for
Yeah,
joining
it's
100
fun.
Talk. Thank
I'll-
you for joining Scientific.
I'll
Thank you for
definitely do that.
co-hosting as always,
Yeah,
brother.
good.
King Live, thank you for the amazing comments. Double H Unique, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Wolf Scratch, everyone. Lacuna, really appreciate you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
It's been a
Expect
pleasure.
a big announcement
Is it
video
like this, Wolf?
in a week.
Twitch.tv/Wolfscratch.
Is that right? Is that right? Shit, that's not right. Hold up.
Wrong.
I think it's just.
How could you do this to me?
Is it just a single? Wait. Okay, there we go. Yeah.
Hey, we got it, we got it, we got
I
it.
was gonna say. Yeah. Oh, damn it. Go get out of here.
Roasted. Nah, it's been fun. It's been a pleasure talking with you guys.
Yeah,
Like,
man.
And Unreal Dreamer, don't forget to give us our LP for the giveaway. Unique, thank you for reminding me because I would have forgot. I'm going to do that right after this podcast. And Unique, thank you for always being an absolutely phenomenal moderator. Same to you, Double H, Midnight, Scientific. I